You're waking up in darkness, disoriented, with the smell of damp earth and metal pressing upon you. But that's not all. Something big is lurking in the shadows. A creature that learns your every move and waiting for the slightest mistake. And you know what they say about amnesia? Well, I forgot. But there's a joke there somewhere. Amnesia the Bunker pulls you into this nightmare, blending survival horror with psychological tension like few games can. The game is not your typical haunted mansion or isolated castle. This time, you're in a World War I bunker, deep underground. And during World War, this seems like to be the best place to be.
Here, take this. Finish me off, please.
I have a
Die
gun.
at the hands of a brother soldier, not that monster. There's
Are you
ammo in the
sure?
pantry. Get it. Do the job, please.
Yeah, alright. How many times do you want? You give me a gun with no ammo? You crazy old fella. But it's not. So what does that do to your mind? And more importantly, what does that do to you, the player? This video contains spoilers, so if you want to play the game and get the full experience, then I suggest you stop here and come back another time. If not, then enjoy. In Amnesia the Bunker, you assume the role of Henry Clement, a French soldier trapped in this seemingly endless maze. You get more than one kind of horror bearing down on you. You have the enemies outside, you have the darkness pressing in, and worst of all, something monstrous lurking in the bunker's shadows. That something is a massive creature, towering and hunched over, with its muscular, twisted limbs that seem far too long for its body. Its skin is pale and stretched tight across its form, mottled with sickly hues of grey and rotting flesh, almost as if it has been subjected to years of decay. Its bony frame is partially visible beneath the torn, grotesque skin and the thick, dark veins snaking across its body, giving it an almost vascular, unnatural look. The face is perhaps the most disturbing aspect of this monster. It's barely human, with a twisted, almost non-existent nose and an open, gaping mouth that stretches unnaturally wide. The lips are cracked and torn, revealing rows of sharp, jagged teeth that look like they could rip through flesh with ease. Its eyes are sunken deep into its skull, glowing a faint, sickly yellow or bloodshot red, giving it an eerie, almost soulless gaze. The eyes do not blink. From its back protrude spindly, broken bone-like appendages, almost like crude wings. These features seem unnatural and monstrous, giving it an horrifying insect-like appearance. And as it moves, you hear the sickening sound of crunching and dragging its body, scraping across the walls, leaving a trail of putrid liquid behind it. When it moves, it lurches with unnatural jerks, like a marionette controlled by unseen hands. The steps are heavy and purposeful, and when it gets too close, the tension in the air becomes suffocating, as though something is about to snap at any second. Its arms are long, clawed and covered in bruises, with fingers that end in a sharp, wicked talons. The creature's hands twitch as if itching to grab hold of anything, human or otherwise. Its movements do seem slow, but they are calculated and precise, as though it knows the layout of the bunker way better than you. Well, we're off for a great start. War? It can't be worse, can it? Frictional games created an environment that breathed dread with every corner. The bunker is an oppressive place, a relic of a brutal war where each wall and each echoing sound tells you that survival isn't just about escaping the bunker, but it's about escaping your very own fear. What I noticed when I played this game was how the setting itself works against you, or worked against me. As you play, something actively patrols the tight corridors, every time you do something, it's responding to your noise and your movement. You could try to distract it by throwing objects or creating sounds elsewhere, but the creature's behavior is unpredictable. And no matter how hard I tried, and how much I tried to convince myself that it's all okay now, I never really succeeded. What if it would be just lurking around this corner? This is the mess hall. Are you Whoa! The bunker is an unrelenting space. It feels alive, with its creaking metal and the hum of machinery and the relentless darkness threatening to swallow you whole. Light sources are scarce, and every flickering bulb, every dwindling flare adds another layer to my anxiety. Frictional games design this place to feel suffocating. You're not just fighting what lurks in the shadows, but you fight the shadows themselves. It's almost like if you're sitting in a quiet cafe, immersed in a book or working on your laptop, suddenly the feeling of being observed is creeping in. A prickling sensation at the back of the neck. Now, glancing up, you notice someone at a nearby table, their gaze lingering a moment just too long. The observer might be a stranger, quietly sipping coffee with a curious expression, or perhaps an acquaintance who seemed too interested in their work. This fleeting encounter stirs a mix of self-consciousness and intrigue. The thoughts race: do I have something in my face? Are they judging my choices? And after a while you might try to focus back on your book or your laptop, but the awareness of being watched lingers, transforming the cafe into a stage and them into the reluctant performer, navigating between the comfort of anonymity and the vulnerability of scrutiny. No, Amnesia is nothing like that. I have a flashlight that barely works, and I have a clock that shows me, I don't know, to the thing I want the most. Unlike the previous games in the Amnesia series, the bunker's layout encourages you to learn and memorize its twisted pathways. Each journey into its depth feels like a descent into madness as you try to navigate its maze-like structure while the tension grows, step by careful step. The character you play, the Henry Clement, isn't just an avatar. He's a survivor, dealing with the horrors of war. The narrative taps into the psychological toll of the World War I, where men faced unspeakable trauma in the trenches. Can I open it? Oh! And here, the bunker becomes a physical manifestation of Henry's mental state. He's trapped, he's haunted, and he's isolated, while the story unfolds through fragments and clues left by others. There's a sense that Henry's journey is also one of self-discovery, facing both the external and the internal horrors. What? Holy shit, what? Oh! The theme of memory, especially fragmented memory and, of course, unreliable memory, is central to Amnesia. As you uncover more about the bunker, you piece together a larger picture of the horrors that unfolded here. For example, as the protagonist, the soldier named Henry, well, you are searching for supplies and a way to escape when you stumble upon an old radio. Its surface stained with rust and grime, but your curiosity piqued, and you turn it on, static crackling as you adjust the dials, hoping to catch any sign of life. And within the noise, a voice emerges. It's faint, but unmistakable. It's a distressed call for help. It's another soldier named Marcel. He's trapped somewhere within the sprawling maze of the bunker. Henry's heart races. He recognizes Marcel as a friend, someone who have been missing for weeks. The urgency in Marcel's voice sends chills down his spine, determined to save his friend. Henry, or you, sets off deeper into the labyrinthy bunker, armed only with a flickering flashlight and a growing sense of dread. As you navigate the tight claustrophobic spaces, you encounter remnants of the past, abandoned equipment, and personal belongings of soldiers who once called this place home. But you also see unsettling signs of struggle. With every turn, the atmosphere thickens. Shadows dance at the edge of the light, and the sound of distant scratching echoes through the hall. Henry's mind races as you recall Marcel's frantic words. "It knows we're here! It's watching us!" Finally, what feels like an eternity, you discover this old storage room. The air is heavy with a stench of decay. And in the corner, you spot a flicker of movement. A figure is hunched over. It's Marcel. But something is terribly wrong. His eyes are wild and his clutches a makeshift weapon. "Henry!" Marcel gasps. His voice is trembling. "You shouldn't have come here. It's not just the darkness. It's what's in it. It took the others." Suddenly, a deafening roar fills the air, shaking the very halls of the bunker. You feel the ground tremble beneath you as this grotesque creature, a twisted amalgamation of shadows and madness, bursts into the room. Its eyes gleam with an insatiable hunger, and it lunges towards you. These memories are not just tools for survival, but are unsettling truth. The truth that draws you deeper into the bunker's mystery as you play the game. This element of fractured memory and self-doubt brings a layer of psychological horror where you're never quite sure if the monster outside is worse than the monster within. "I promised you Christian burial, but you must understand, the rats would not stop coming. They swarmed your body, their teeth, their claws, they would not stop. I did what our ancestors did when they're faced with unclean things. I burnt them, and I burnt what was left of you to stop them coming again. If you made it to heaven, please forgive me. I remain down here in hell with that demon. It will come for me again. I know it. I'm going to do as you suggested before you died. Make for the pillbox. Please, if you're up there, watch over me." Amnesia the Bunker introduces an interesting twist. A semi-open world design, actually quite unlike previous Amnesia games, which largely led players through a linear narrative. This bunker feels like a survival puzzle. In the game, you're not just trying to escape, you're trying to survive in a hostile environment with limited resources. Every match and every bullet and every scarce tool that you find could mean the difference between life and death. The game forces you to make hard decisions constantly. Do you keep the light on, risking it going out at the worst possible moment, or do you plunge yourself into darkness, hoping you're not spotted by whatever's lurking? It actually handles the story differently than, for example, Soma, a game that I did a review on recently. In Soma, you don't have too much to think about, except the story, and of course, the environment. In Amnesia, it's less thoughts about what's hunting you, and it's more about how not to be caught. Oh my god. Run! Jump! Oh my god, oh my god, this is so bad. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, this is fucking the wrong way. The game's mechanics encounter experimentation and careful resource management, yet they're unforgiving if you make mistakes. You could say that there's a learning curve, one that immerses you deeply. For example, the limited save system, that personally I did not know about. Idea, but it is what it is. Why is it so dark? I mean, who lights a lamp when the light attracts monsters? This added to my personal tension, created a real fear of losing my progress since I did not know how to save. I'm sure others experienced it the same way, or not. But for me, this meant that for every action I did, every moment counted. Unlike many horror games where the monster is revealed in full glory early on, Amnesia the Bunker keeps the creature shrouded in mystery. You hear it and you sense it, but you rarely see it fully. This approach intensifies the fear because your mind will fill in the blanks, and the creature here adapts to your playstyle. It learns from your movements. As it's lurking the areas it knows that you visit the most. This isn't just a horror game monster, it's a manifestation of fear itself. Unpredictable, adaptable, and deadly. So for Amnesia the Bunker, frictional games utilizes dynamic AI, meaning that the creature responds to your actions, making each encounter unique and terrifying. It's kinda like Alien Isolation. The monster can appear anytime and anywhere. It's forcing you to constantly second guess yourself. It's not just about where you go, but how you get there, and if you dare to make any noises. Every creak, every door slam could summon it. With limited means to defend yourself, running or hiding is often your only option. But I must say that hiding is never entirely safe. Oh no, he's here. Oh! Oh my god, that was just pure luck, man. Dude, I was so quiet all the way over here. Come on, man. He left? He left us? In the bunker, you're giving just enough control to feel responsible for your survival, yet not enough to feel safe. This delicate balance makes you the architect of your own fear. By rationing supplies, deciding when to use your flashlight or whether to risk exploring that last corridor, the game gives you the agency, but with consequences. Every choice is haunted by doubt. Did you use too much fuel, or is the creature right now close by? The game's brilliance lies in how it forces you to weigh every action, making you hyper-aware of your limitations. The constant tug of war between control and helplessness mirrors the real human fears of survival and mortality. It's a haunting reflection of your own vulnerability that makes the horror feel personal, intimate, and inescapable.
9th of July. I do not know the time, but dusk has fallen and still, of course, no word. When I asked the sergeant, he shrugged, as if I was asking about when it might next rain. These fools around me, laughing, drinking, arguing. Do they know what I've done? Do they suspect it? I feel they must all be guilty of something. And yet, they laugh, drink, argue. God knows what I've done. I wonder if his judgment could be worse than my own.
Yeah, I wonder that too. Amnesia stands out as a masterclass in horror game design, building upon the foundation of the Amnesia series while introducing new, deeply immersive mechanics. The bunker isn't just a location, it's a prison of fear. It's a prison of memory and relentless survival. What's amazing with the game is that the game works perfectly without jump scares or gore. Instead, it's using the atmosphere, the sound, and the constant threat of danger to burrow under your skin. The game is really about confronting fear itself. The fear of the unknown, the fear of being trapped, and the fear of your own mind turning against you. Amnesia is a survival horror experience that stays with you long after you put down the controller. It asks difficult questions about survival, about memory, and the nature of fear, making it one of the most impactful horror games in recent years. So next time you think about Amnesia, remember that it's not just a game, it's a psychological journey balancing the fragile line between survival and despair, and how sometimes the most terrifying monster are the ones lurking in your own mind. And I see you guys again. You know, I never thought, like when they say rats, I actually never thought, you know, this was gonna be a maze and it was gonna be like a big huge rat, and I was gonna be like the cheese, which it kind of feels like I am. I am the cheese, damn it. I don't want to be the cheese. Dude, look at all this boost that I got. Expired meat should not be consumed by soldiers, better used to attract rodents. Oh.